What's up, everyone out there in internet land, and welcome to episode 467 of The Straight Shooters, available wherever podcasts are found. My name is Vaughn Johnson, and I'm joined as always by my main man, Pots and Pans, Nick McCone of Crossing Broad, and we have yet another fantastic show ahead of us here on episode 467, as the kids say, right? That's what the kids scream and yell all the time when you mention those two numbers. We have a deep dive. We are diving deep into Beach Blast. Right? it's a Beach Blast, guys, from WCW all the way back in 1992. We are crossing in a day or two what would that be, the 34th anniversary of this show, which is insane to say, but here we are for Beach Blast 92. So we'll be diving deep into that in a little bit. But before we get into the deep dive and the current day nonsense or anything else, I got to do my weekly check on my main man, Pots and Pans. Nick, how are you on this Thursday afternoon, my good brother?
Man, we got the World Cup here in Philly, so we got some World Cup fever going on. The Phillies doing their thing. They're not terrible, so that's nice. Going on a little
They did
run
lose
here.
their most recent game as of this recording, but
yeah,
12-4. But they won. I think they won the series, though, right? Or they're about to. I don't know.
And they opened a series with the Mets tonight, but they'll be. So we're recording this on Thursday, June 18th. They're going to be off on Friday because of the World Cup.
Yes.
They just don't want to deal with all that traffic. So
I mean, the
they're
Phillies
actually
are
gonna
at
have
home.
multiple Fridays off during this World Cup.
For those who don't know, Philly is one of the host cities for the World Cup, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this know what the World Cup is, and if you're an international listener, you're probably more than familiar. But yeah, Philly is one of the host cities. We are hosting, I think, 6 games here. We've hosted one so far. It was Ivory Coast versus Ecuador, and I was in Center City before the game, and there were a lot of Ecuadorian fans walking around Center City. I expect more of the same tomorrow when it's Brazil versus Haiti. I expect a large Brazilian contingent in the city and a large Haitian contingent as well. So that should be fun. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on in the city right now with the World Cup and, like I said, the Phillies, and it's just hot in general. It's just hot.
It's not gonna like calm down because we got the All-Star game coming next month for MLB and all their ancillary events and everything. So
yeah, you telling me.
Fun.
I'm the one working the majority of these events. And I just spent like multiple hours at a bar shooting a video for the World Cup because we wanted to document what it was like at a bar. For those who don't know, there are certain bars in Philly that if they applied for a permit, they're allowed to stay open till 4 a.m. And in Philly, the normal time a bar closes is 2. So it's like, what's happening at 4? So we wanted to document that. So I was there doing that and all kinds of other stuff. So it's a busy time right now, man, in the city with the World Cup. And then, like you said, the MLB All-Star game, which comes with, like you said, the Home Run Derby and the Futures game and the HBCU All-Star game and everything else that comes with that. So, yeah, we won't be relaxing here in Philly because, obviously, this is the 250th anniversary of the United States. The country started here, so everybody wants to be in Philly for the summer. Huh? How about that? What do you know? But yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on here. I don't think we're going to take a breather until maybe after Eagles training camp.
Then we have that at the end of from July to like mid to late August, and then a week or two before the season starts. So
we may get a week in between the MLB All-Star game and Eagles training camp. I don't know if there's an official date yet, but typically it's in late July, like you said. So maybe a week, and off we go with that.
And we'll
that's a whole endeavor.
Definitely zoned in on the Eagles with their new look offense and stuff. That'll be like a major storyline. So it's not exactly going to be a boring time either. Just waiting for the season to start. We're actually going to have a, not that we don't already have a close eye on the training camp and the preseason games, but I think it's going to be more anticipated this year. Just based
every
off the
every rep.
changes.
Every rep is already documented.
Yeah.
I know there's always a lot of talk around training camp when Elliot Shore Parks does his he keeps track of stats during training camp, like say Jalen Hurts when he went 10 or 14 today or something like that. And people be like, who cares about this? But somebody might care. I don't know, but I feel like that, like you said, that's going to be it's going to be a hyper focus on him and Devontae Smith and Mekhi Lemon if he can practice. Yeah, I don't think he's even practiced yet too much. So we'll see. But we got a long ways to go before we get to that point.
And then we got fantasy football. Like I always kind of get hyped for that because it's like towards the end of summer, and we have our drafts. Before not only the season starts, but school starts. People go back to school, go back to work after work in the summer, and it's just kind of like a rejuvenation period where. Really, like August has become one of my favorite months in general, just based off like we have baseball, but it's not hyper important. Where every game is, it's not like late September, so we can kind of have our eyes towards many different things, and that kind of it's exciting, when you're a sports fan in general. And, you're from the Philly area when you have all this going on the 250th birthday of the country, it's just an exciting time in general, not just sports centric, but then, we're also going to get a SmackDown apparently.
I forgot all about that.
Summer. Yeah, I think it's in June or July. So I actually saw one ad for it last week, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't even remember if it was June or July, but I'm guessing it's July. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Just smack dab in the middle of everything else, So.
Yeah, so much else. Well, we're going to flip over to some wrestling stuff, but it's still sports adjacent because if you're in New York today, you know that there is a big parade happening in the city because the Knicks, those damn Knicks, like those damn Dudleys, those damn Knicks, won an NBA championship for the first time in 53 years, and New York did not know how to act. You would have thought they haven't won a championship in decades.
Ever.
I guess it's technically been a couple since the Yankees won. I guess the Liberty one did win a couple years ago, so I take that back. And NYCFC, but the Knicks won. So because the Knicks won, WWE said Danhausen is now going to be our number one star, pretty much. Because if you don't remember, Danhausen cursed the Knicks via Stephen A. Smith from ESPN, and I believe they were like doing okay in the playoffs, and then he uncursed them. Somebody paid him human monies, as he says, to uncurse the Knicks, which resulted in them only losing like one game the rest of the playoffs, which is pretty insane. And they were destroying the Hawks. They destroyed the Sixers, beat up on the Cavs pretty good too, and had to come back. I think they won every game in their finals after like a double-digit deficit. Like they came back and overcame a double-digit deficit, which is just like insane stuff. So, of course, now, because Danhausen uncursed him, now he's like an unofficial Knicks mascot. Who would have thought that we would be here when Danhausen first showed up in WWE not that long ago and got booed out of the building for, I think, WWE putting him up in a bad spot with the whole setup and the hype and the production. It just didn't go over well. But everything else since then has been coming up roses for Danhausen and WWE, and they're looking to cash in with this. And they've been looking to cash in with Danhausen because they got something with him, and they've been trying to capitalize on that pretty much since he got there. So it's really cool to see, honestly. It's interesting to see how Danhausen is being utilized in this way where he kind of wasn't in AEW for whatever reason. I know he was hurt for a little bit, but like even when he was around, they just didn't utilize him. Now I feel like they're kind of making up for it with Leo Rush and his kind of strange, spooky gimmick, which is kind of fun at the end of the day. So hopefully they can get Leo Rush the attention that they didn't get to Danhausen for some reason. But yeah, this Danhausen stuff is taking over, and I haven't watched the Knicks parade, but I'd assume he was somewhere around there. I don't know if he had a major presence, but I'd assume he was somewhere in the vicinity. I'm sure WWE was like, we're taking you to the parade, Danhausen. You don't wrestle anyway. So go to the parade and capitalize on that newfound fame of yours and ours too, because WWE is capitalizing too, and like Danhausen is on an island here. WWE is driving that train for sure. But yeah, those damn Knicks and that damn Danhausen. Who will Danhausen curse next, and how will this affect sports? Because this is going to come up again.
It's got to, and until really it doesn't quote unquote work,
Right.
But any Knicks parade videos I see will be completely on accident because I will not search that stuff out. Sorry. Unless some guy from Philly puts on a Spurs jersey again and goes up there and picks some fights.
So another story that people may not know if you're not from Philly, obviously the Knicks win the championship, and videos start circulating online of a guy in a Dennis Rodman Spurs jersey too, which
NWO,
is like that's a choice.
Alum.
Right. That is a choice. Former
Hall of
WCW
Famer,
World Heavyweight.
WWE
Well, he
Hall
wasn't
of
World
Famer.
Heavyweight Champion. That was David Arquette. He is NWO member, I should say. Dennis Rodman.
He's the one that spray painted the title. Couple times.
Yes. So this guy, I don't even know this guy's name, but he drove up to New York. Well, first you see the video of him in this Spurs jersey, and again, let's rewind a little bit further, in that when the Knicks even won in the series, they would just harass Spurs fans, which we do not condone, right? Especially if you win. Come on now, get it together. So of course, when they won, I think it was it game 5 or was it game 4? One of those games. There was a bunch of fans around, and he's up there, and he's pretty much looking for a fight. Like, he's looking for the smoke from whoever. And the Knicks fans like, oh yeah, we'll jump you. And then he's like, no, you're not. And he is throwing people to the side, and they're pretty much running away from this man. They're scattering. He is like walking through people.
There was like would look like a 10-foot radius with like a circle around him where people started getting away from him.
Getting away, and then people trying to sneak up on him and hit him real quick and run away. Yeah. Didn't work. People tried to trip him. He just kept walking right through people's legs, bro. Like, yeah, I lost count of how many people who tried to trip him, which is always also a sucker move. Like, if you tried to trip that man, and I'm talking to you, if you're in that video trying to trip him, you's a sucker. And the same goes for the people who punched him and ran away. You also suckers. So, yeah, I'm talking to you. You know who you are. yeah, you too. Pulling that sucker stuff in front of everybody. Only because everybody was there, not because you actually wanted to fight. Not to say he should have done that neither, but you know what I mean. But turns out, homeboy is one of us. Turns out, even though he's in New York with a Spurs jersey, he is from Philly. He's not even from Texas.
He's celebrating 250 years of America, the only way he knows how, I guess.
Just looking for smoke in other people's cities. Surrounded by hostile
Let's go to
fans.
DC next. He'll go up to Boston at some point, probably.
Bro, I would just say this. For one, don't do this. Don't be like this guy, because he wilding, honestly.
He is.
He really wilding. But the courage is there. You got to applaud the courage, bro. Like, man, he really was like, I'm on by myself, solo dolo. Who won it? And people was like, no, I don't. I actually don't want it. People was running scared. So I did see that he is making an appearance. I don't know if it's real or not, but he's making an appearance at a wrestling show in the area soon.
Wow.
I just saw it on Instagram today. So we'll see if this catapults him into a wrestling career.
Yeah, right.
So we'll see. It's all wrestling related, guys. This whole NBA Finals thing. We got 2 wrestling angles out of this, potentially. That's so silly, but yeah, we got that going with that. Those damn Knicks in the NBA Finals wrapping up last week. But back to actual wrestling matters and more serious matters. TNA is in the news recently, but not for good reasons. They've had, I would say, an up and down year for TNA so far. And this is a down portion of the year when they announced they're having workforce reductions, which means layoffs, or they're firing people. People losing their jobs. Unfortunately. And the people who are on that list include Tommy Dreamer, who was part of their talent relations department and part of the creative team. Also includes Tessa Blanchard, Steve Macklin, Sammy Callahan, Mila Grace, and Danny Luna. So there's that. As far as the, what you call it, the workforce reduction.
How much were they really? Did they have like a bloated roster? Like I don't know.
I don't know.
Like why?
I don't know what the financial situation is for TNA.
What are they cutting from?
You asking the wrong person. What I do know is that I'm not sure they had the momentum they had maybe last year.
For sure.
Right now, and you can put that on a number of things. You maybe put that on TNA. You can put that on its relationship with WWE in some respects. I think, but either way, you never want to see mass releases or layoffs, or in this case, a quote unquote workforce reduction. That's never fun. So hopefully everybody involved lands on their feet and they'll be okay. But it sucks. It always sucks when you hear stuff like this. What do you have any thoughts on it beyond that it sucks?
No, not really. I haven't watched TNA, and I don't honestly remember the last time I sat down and watched a pay-per-view or an episode of Impact. I do DVR it, but I mean, it's just in case, I see whatever I see on the feed online. But nothing, I guess Santana's chase was, interesting, but really nothing has interested me. So maybe that's part of why I'm not the only one and why stuff like this happens. But we'll see. We'll see what it means if it means anything with their relationship to WWE too. I mean, you would think WWE would like to sustain them and not have them to do this thing, or maybe they're behind it. Who knows?
Or they just don't care.
Yeah, perhaps.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, by the way, I got those names from Fightful.com, by the way. Shout out to Fightful. But, it sucks every time you hear about workforce reductions in this case, or layoffs or releases. It sucks in WWE, it sucks in AEW, and of course, it sucks in TNA as well. Moving on, something that doesn't quite suck, but it's kind of interesting, is the King of the Ring tournament in WWE. We talked about the format, I think, on our last episode, where we weren't in love with the Fatal 4-Ways, but now we're down to the semifinals and one-on-one matches. And we had the first semifinal this past Monday with Obafemi beating Dominic Mysterio to advance to the final of the King of the Ring, and he will face the winner of either Jey Uso or Javon Evans. So, another thing happened after that Obafemi match was that he got on the mic and said, I'm going to be King Oba, but guess what? I still hate you, Brock Lesnar. I still don't like you. And I want to fight you again. So I feel like because of this, he keeps calling out Brock Lesnar. I feel like you would assume that this results in Brock costing Obafemi the King of the Ring final? Is that a far-fetched assumption?
Not at all. And
okay,
sometimes predictable is good.
Yeah.
But in this case, nope, not for me. Sorry.
I mean,
it's annoying.
It's kind of an odd way to get to this third match. If, for one, you probably didn't need a third match. I think Oprah could have just beat him twice, and that would have been it. But now that he's still in the King of the Ring, I guess he goes to the final, and he faces, again, Jey Uso or Javon Evans. And if you were to ask me which one of those two guys, both Raw guys wrestling on SmackDown this Friday, by the way, because no more SmackDown guys are left in the King of the Ring tournament. But if you were to ask me who would be my favorite to win the other semifinal, it would be Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Right? So if Brock is going to cost Obafemi the King of the Ring final, that means, are we looking at King Jey Uso?
Which, here, June 18th, 2026, I'm not feeling. So.
Okay. And that's fair. But go ahead.
I mean, that's out of the three left. Obviously, Oba would be my guy, but if you're obviously going to do the third match, it's kind of, you're back into a situation where it's got to be Jay. Javon will be a pleasant surprise, but
I don't
know who
if he's ready for that spot,
honestly.
Yeah. I feel like what you could do is, and again, this is all speculation at this point, but if Jey Uso is the King of the Ring, he gets the opportunity to choose which world champion he faces at SummerSlam. And they've already planted a seed in that Roman Reigns has already told him, hey, you should win the King of the Ring and go after Cody. And I feel like we may get a repeat of some shape or form of the Batista Evolution Triple H angle, where Triple H is telling Batista, go to SmackDown and beat up on JBL and leave me alone. And instead, Jey Uso, who's always the crash out of the group anyway, to some extent, is always angry about something. Maybe he turns to Roman and is like, no, I want to challenge you. And then Roman Reigns beats him too. I'm assuming. But I don't know. There is a way to maybe they break away from Roman Reigns. Who knows? Either way, I don't love the current construction of the quote-unquote bloodline now. So if they were to go that route and break them up again and or at least add a new wrinkle that, gives it a fresh coat of paint as opposed to the one that is mostly the same now, I think I could buy into that.
I think we need that because I agree with you. I'm not feeling this. Roman's still trying to talk like, hey, I'm trying to do the right thing here. But honestly, I would have Jacob be the leader, but at this point, I don't think that's in the cards just based off what we're seeing on weekly TV. But if we can have them turn on Roman, like you said, in an evolution type situation, but it's all three of them, the Usos and Jacob, turning on Roman, then, maybe Jay beats him, and then Roman goes away for a little bit, and when he comes back, I don't know how that looks. I don't know if that's him and Solo together with that group, or if it's Roman just bringing in more people from his family or what. I don't know how that looks, but
Zilla Fatu, come on down.
What we're doing right now is not landing, and I don't know if it's just like they think they were going to recapture something the way they're doing it now, but I just don't. I don't think a majority of people are feeling it. Honestly, I'm not seeing very many good things about this version of the Bloodline online, and I know online's not everything, but it. If there were people that enjoyed it, I think we'd see more of that as well. And I haven't. So yeah, I think they need to do something to kind of shake that up.
Yeah, the thing is about, you say that you haven't seen a lot of positivity online about it, but whenever Roman Reigns comes out, the fans are chanting his name, they're acknowledging him, they're singing his name, they're cheering for him. Even though he just
doesn't need to kind of, I think he can be alone in a way,
Yeah, I guess. But in the meantime, he's ordering Jacob Fatu to beat up a comedian. And that
that's
comedian
not
was Eric
exactly a
Andre.
babyface thing,
Not at all. Not at all. If you didn't watch, Eric Andre is sitting at ringside, and Roman Reigns is the first one to go up to him. Eric Andre is super funny, by the way. I don't know if you're familiar with Eric Andre, but he's hilarious.
I actually first was on him when I saw some of his Vine videos.
Oh, yeah.
Ways ago.
Vine. Classic platform back in the day, by the way. But Roman Reigns walks over to Eric Andre and is all friends with him, all buddy. Hey, good to see you again. Yeah, my guy, cool. And Jey Uso doesn't dap him up because he's just mad all the time. Jimmy Uso is just, Big Jim is just happy. He's happy for everybody. Hey, Eric Andre, he daps him up, real big, smiles. Okay, right. He's just happy to be there. And then here comes Jacob, who is the last person in the group that I would bother in general.
With the newly adorned Ulufala, right? Is that what they're calling it?
Just got it.
That's it, right? An Ulufala.
Ulufala, yes, not the Lufa-Fafa or whatever that LA Knight said that one time that made Jey Uso crack up on camera.
Is that why he got eliminated?
Pretty early. I think he said Ufa-Lafa or something like that. And Jey Uso had to cover his face because that was pretty funny. But Jacob Fatu, not the guy to be trifled with, just in general. I don't think he'd be the one that I would play with pretty much.
Right.
And he's messing with the Ulufala. He gets a little too familiar, thinking everybody all cool. And Jacob Fatu puts an immediate stop to that. But Roman Reigns is like, hey, and all the security people come out and hey, chill out. No. Don't do this, Jacob. Don't crash out like this. And then Roman Reigns has a change of heart real time. And it's like, you know what? Hit him with that splash. Do it again.
Because the thing was didn't Adam Pearce say something to him or something make him stop or something? And,
right.
And
then Adam Pearce went.
I do control.
Adam Pearce went, why? Why? But I guess the why is that Roman Reigns is supposed to have some sort of control over Jacob Fatu. He can tell him what to do. So there's another wrinkle. I don't know. We'll see. And the King of the Ring, as far as I'm concerned, will have a major part in that because I feel like Jey Uso is going to beat Javon Evans. I'd be surprised if Javon Evans beats Jey Uso. But crazier things have happened.
What if we get
Go ahead.
What if we get Andre costing Jay the King of the Ring instead of Brock costing Uba? Reminding me of the Cody Cena main event, like, oh man, I can see them doing that because you can't like not put it out of your mind, right? They're like, they might actually do something like that.
Don't give them ideas. You've already spoke that into the universe. You've already messed up.
I'm scared, man. I'm scared.
You should be. You should be.
I do not want to see that.
Something I do want to see, I should say, something I'm very much looking forward to is Forbidden Door in particular, Forbidden Door from AEW, but the match in particular I'm looking forward to the most is the final of the Owen Hart Cup, the men's Owen Hart Cup. Swerve Strickland going against Will Ospreay. The winner will face the AEW World Champion. Right now is MJF at Wembley Stadium and All In. This is the match that they probably could have done a year or two ago, but here we are, finally getting to it. It is almost, I think it was a little bit in question when MJF lost the title to Darby Allin, but I feel like we're getting to eventually Will Ospreay, MJF, Wembley Stadium, and Will Ospreay in front of his home country during, or I guess after the World Cup in some respects, and potentially winning the world title in front of his home country people. So it feels like we're getting there, but in the meantime, what we got on Wednesday was a promo between Swerve and Ospreay, which was fantastic and reminded me like, yo, I really like watching these two guys wrestle, and I cannot wait to see them go at it again at Forbidden Door. Should be a classic, honestly.
Should be the main event.
I would assume so.
I don't know if it is or not, but
yeah.
I did not catch Dynamite this week yet. That is on DVR, waiting to be watched. So I don't know if they've announced it yet or not. But yeah, that's clearly match of the year worthy already. Just anticipating it, something like that. So might be the best match in AEW this year. After it's all said and done. So you're right.
It's a high bar to clear, by the way.
It is. They've had a lot of great ones.
It's a high bar to clear, but I think Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland are up for the task. Elsewhere in wrestling, CM Punk, he was in the news a lot lately, but nothing concrete, just rumor and hearsay.
It's crazy.
Just rumor and hearsay. A lot of that.
Just because he hasn't been on TV, they're like, oh, we gotta think of something to talk about him. It's pretty common, right, for once you have like a run like he did to kind of get time off. Even in WWE, they kind of like once you lose the title, it kind of you get your time off. Clearly Roman's done it. Cody's even had time off here and there since he's been back. So I mean, I don't understand why him not being on TV became, something like smoke that started spreading the way it did. Just kind of weird to me. Just because he is CM Punk. I don't know if you'd hear stuff like that with Roman or Cody or anyone really today, but I thought it was annoying just to be like, what, like he just had a literal like great run with the World Heavyweight title and he lost to Roman, and now like I'm supposed to believe they had a falling out with TKO. Like it's not like
possible.
I know it's not like unthinkable, but it's also like okay, like he came out he was on Raw, like planting a seed with Cody. I mean, like what are we doing? Like I guess it could have happened after that, but and then obviously there was a report.
But what kind of report? Or were people just talking? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying a report that when he would return, what he would be not on. It wouldn't be on Raw, and that's
right.
That makes more sense to me than him having a falling out with TKO or WWE. So I don't know.
Yeah, the reports are that when he does come back, He's going to SmackDown, which I think makes total sense. I feel like Raw is the Bloodline show pretty much now, and SmackDown could be the everybody else show, pretty much. But as far as the rumor and hearsay, he is nearing 50, and he's had at least in recent years, some injury issues going back to his days in AEW. So if I'm WWE, I'm giving him time off sometimes. We don't want to overuse the guy. This isn't the back in the day where you had 300 shows a year and you need your top guys to sell tickets on every show. Nope. We got Roman Reigns on Raw right now. We don't even need CM Punk right the moment. And probably in their minds, go home, get some rest, heal up from this, like you said, a lengthy run where he was on Raw every single week. I think even before he won the world title, he was on Raw pretty much every single week because he was doing stuff with AJ Lee, remember that, and Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. They had the whole feud going back in last September, going into what was that, WrestlePalooza?
Yeah.
I believe where they had the tag match. So yeah, he had maybe 6-7 straight months of popping up on Raw and saying, "Doesn't it feel great to be here on a Monday night?" Whatever this thing he says at the beginning of his promos. "Doesn't it feel good to be alive?" Something like that.
Night.
On a Monday night. Like
Friday
I
night.
know that. I know that because he said it every single week on Raw. So
Well, listen. They also say, welcome to Monday Night Raw and welcome to Friday Night SmackDown every single week. Paul Heyman literally started a promo, forgot that he had to say that. He's like, wait, let me get this out of the way. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. I hate when they do that, but whatever. It's annoying. So I feel like maybe they're like, you have to say this. You have to say this.
yeah, I feel like they're as in a tangent, there should be some type of like intro of like welcome to whatever, but like you don't need it to be the wrestlers who say it all the time.
You
Make
know,
it Michael Cole, I guess.
You have commentators. You could have the commentators with a microphone, like they do sometimes, standing in the aisle or whatever, or around the ring, just with a microphone that the entire arena can hear. Like, to me, that's more normal than having every single talent that begins the show have to say that, because for certain talent, like it's weird, you know, like. I want Obafemi saying "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." Like, no, you know,
It's going to happen one day.
It is.
Don't you worry.
It is.
He's going to open a show and say, "I'm the ruler, and welcome to Monday Night Raw." That's what's going to happen. Oh my God. And I rule the show.
And then people are going to cheer. It's like, I guess it's fun for the audience. I don't know, but I'm watching on TV. I'm like, that's such a lame, like, concept. I don't know. I just don't know why it's needed.
Well, moving on, we got a couple of shows that have been announced from WWE. Money in the Bank, which was supposed to be in September, is now moving to October. October 10th to be exact. It is still going to be in New Orleans at the Smoothie King Center. This is the make good for New Orleans not getting WrestleMania this year, where it was supposed to be in New Orleans, but now instead it was in Las Vegas for the second year in a row, which I'm sure WWE has touted all the success that they've had running it back, but when your attendance dips a little bit, it says, hey, maybe we should do something else. We might have messed this up a little bit. I'm not saying overall, but just in this area, we might have messed this up. So, but yes, because they just snatched WrestleMania away from New Orleans, they offered up as a consolation Money in the Bank. Here you go. It's not WrestleMania, but there's a briefcase. So you have that. You also have not Saturday night's main event, but Sunday night's main event in September. Is it September?
Yes,
I see here we got Money in the Bank.
It's the date Money in the Bank was supposed to be.
Yes. I got confused. So, yes, Money in the Bank was September 6th. But it got moved to October 10th. So, in place of that, on September 6th, it will be Sunday night's main event in Atlanta, State Farm Arena, where they held Bad Blood, I think, last year. 2024, I think it was, in Atlanta. So, there is that. Anything else current day nonsense-wise before we move on to our deep dive?
I don't like the Money in the Bank was in September anyway. I don't know why. I don't like that they moved it from, like, summer. And now it's like even further in October, so it's still a cool concept. I like the pay-per-view. I think think it's run its course the way other people have said. I think it's fine as a yearly event. But now we got to wait till October? Like, come on. Like, that's my birthday month, man. That's close to Halloween, man. October's a great month for, like, Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell. Like, I want to see some, like, nasty, evil matches, not Money in the Bank, man.
Jesus.
Come on.
You want to see some dark.
Money in the Bank is definitely, like,
disturbing.
Summer, like, celebratory. Like, October, we need, like, death and destruction.
Oh, my God. What kind of wrestling are you into here?
We need, the good days of Halloween Havoc back, not the PG stuff we get today.
So you want to see blood and guts.
That's
what you want to see.
Yeah.
You want to see blood and guts. AEW has that every year, so there you go.
They should make it in October. But they don't.
Let's switch gears to our deep dive. Are you ready to dive deep into Beach Blast from 1992?
Very excited for this one. Episode 1, Season 1.
Is it episode? Oh, yes, this is the inaugural.
The name that should have stayed instead of Bash at the Beach.
No, absolutely
Beach
not. We'll
Blast.
talk about it. We'll talk about it. But are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. Beach Blast, the inaugural Beach Blast, took place on June 20th, 1992. It was a good year, that 1990 shoe. A good year. 1992 was also a good year. It had Beach Blast, the inaugural Beach Blast, right? But this show emanated from the Mobile Civic Center in Mobile, Alabama. The building itself was closed in 2024, but Mobile is building a new Civic Center as we record this show. So there's that. The Mobile Civic Center will be back at some point. I don't know if it's going to be called the same thing, but just know that they're rebuilding it, essentially. But now, when you think of a beach-themed show, maybe Mobile, Alabama isn't your first city you have in mind, right? Well, there's a Bash at the Beach, which is a much better name than Beach Blast.
Nope.
Or even a Beach Blast. Mobile, okay, well, I guess. However, if you just did a quick Google search, you'd learn that Mobile is the home to multiple beaches. So it fits. The theme fits. Beach Blast belongs in Mobile. So there's that. I don't know if you knew that.
I know it was like close to the water. I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, the Gulf Coast, man.
Yeah. I mean,
They talk
falls
about
count
it all
anywhere on the Gulf Coast.
Right. Falls count anywhere along the coast, as they said. Even though they did not go to the coast to fight.
Did not. Even though they could have.
But it could have, yeah. It was within the realm of possibility, but it didn't get to that. Fortunately, I guess. It didn't have to come to that. You know another city that surprisingly has a beach?
Louisville.
Maybe. I don't know. But
Kentucky,
Louisville, home
probably
to the UFL champions, by the way. Louisville Kings. They won their championship game last week. So just in case you wanted to know that. United Football League, in case you wanted to know. But the city I have in mind here is Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, really? I definitely would
Yeah,
not have
I've
thought
seen
that.
it. I would have thought that neither until I saw it for myself. But there's a beach in Cleveland. So there's that, in case you were wondering. But where are we in 1992? Well, I'm only 3 years old, so I don't even know where I am at this point. Okay? I have no wherewithal about my surroundings whatsoever. But I'm not so sure World Championship Wrestling did either in 1992. We're only a short period of time removed from WCW hiring Bill Watts as its executive vice president of wrestling operations. Watts, we've talked about him a lot in the past, specifically when it comes to Hank Aaron and his thoughts on Bill Watts. I forget which show we were diving deep into that about for when we talked about Bill Watts and his and his Hank Aaron's disdain for Bill Watts from back in the day. But go back in the archives and listen to that if you want that history lesson on Bill Watts and some unsavory things he said. And what's that story with was that with John Clark? I think it was, or the original story was I think with Wade Keller, and then the apology came with John Clark. I don't know. Go back and listen to the show,
Right.
okay?
You're right.
But we're only a short period again, a time removed from this hiring. And Watts, again, a lot of things, but one thing he did have was a proven track record of success as a wrestling booker. But that did not mean that it was going to work by 1992. But he was in that spot anyway, and he was bringing his old school style into a company that desperately needed a new school feel. But that wasn't Watts' style. That wasn't it. He wanted to remove the mats from the floor, so there's just exposed concrete down there. He also said, you cannot jump off the top rope here. All that high flying stuff y'all liked, psych, it's gone now. Meanwhile, they have a person on the roster named Flying Brian. He can't jump off the damn top rope now. Like, you gave them, that was to me the problem with the Bill Watts stuff, is that the people were used to seeing certain things, and now you're taking it away. It's not like you're adding, you're taking away.
Right.
And moves in the top rope.
A light
people like
heavyweight
those
division too.
Yeah. People like moves from the top rope, believe it or not. And now everybody does a move from the top rope. Pretty much.
Yep.
But obviously this is, old school style. So no leaving your feet. What you doing? Get down there and grab a hold. Okay, what's wrong with you? But that's what Bill Watts is trying to do. Back in those days. Were you watching WCW in 1992 at all?
I was not. I believe the first time I saw it, because I remember talking about it before in '94, where I was at like a family reunion, and my cousin had it on. My older cousin had it on with Cactus Jack and everything. But I think like the first time I actually saw like WCW on a TV was in '93, and it was actually Beach Blast '93, because when I moved to Jersey from Philly, I would go back here and there to my street with like the friends I grew up with, and I would stay overnight on like a Friday into a Saturday. And my buddy, who was also a wrestling fan at the time, we would always watch WWF. He put on Beach Blast like '93. It just happened. So he had to tape. I guess he taped it because I don't think it was live, and because I remember seeing the British Bulldog on there and like Sting, I believe, and I remember I haven't seen the British Bulldog since he was in the WWF and lost the IC title. So
I thought he just stopped wrestling.
He was just like, yeah, like WCW, like you might like it, whatever. Like, but I was, it was '93, so I might have been like 7 years old, 8 years old. I don't really. I wasn't like feeling it, even though they had like the beach theme, and I wasn't feeling the presentation. So at that point I was like, oh, like I remember the British Bulldog, but I don't care for him being like here. Like I wish he was still in the WWF type thing. Like, and I remember Sting because, I had like WCW stuff from before that. I just never watched it on TV, and I just didn't know the difference, I guess, of why I didn't watch it on TV. Maybe my parents never knew when it was on, stuff like that. Like, it was just never on TV at my house. It was just WWF programming. And when I went to my babysitters, they didn't really watch WCW either. So, yeah, my first WCW exposure was in '93, summer '93. And still didn't really like it. Even when Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage came over, really wasn't until the NWO where I was like, damn it, I have to watch this.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this before, but, when you see WCW from the early 90s and compare it to what WWF was doing, even if WWF was in a little bit of a downturn, it still looked miles better than WCW. And they would, the playing field would level at a certain point, but that wasn't the case in 1992. Moving on to the show itself, we got Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff welcoming us to the show. They're like the host of sorts, and they both have shirts, tropical kind of themed shirts tucked into their pleated slacks. They're looking fresh out there. Tony Schiavone's rocking like a bright polo, and Eric is rocking like a floral tropical shirt. And then we get a look at Bill Watts, who is not festive or tropical. However, he's got a fanny pack, which
That was
okay.
in. That was in. I remember my fanny pack, man. I'd wear it a lot.
I feel like he could have just fit the theme that everybody else is into, but that's just me. And then they run through the matches, or at least Bill Watts run through the matches. He bans Paulie and Medusa from ringside from the 30-minute Iron Man match between Ricky Steamboat and Rick Rude. And he said that falls count anywhere for Sting and Cactus Jack. The falls will count anywhere along the Gulf Coast, which I don't even know how long that stretches, but they could still be fighting today if they let them out in the Gulf Coast. Who knows? But Shivani and Bischoff, they send it over to the actual announcers for the event. It would be Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura, who JR is also in a floral shirt. Jesse the Body is in a tank top, right? And some shorts, I think it was. Mm-hmm. But he's on the stage, actually, or the quote unquote the beach to start the show.
He was chilling.
Because he's getting rubbed down by a slew of women.
Pause.
And he looked like he legit didn't want to leave. Which, can you blame him? I mean, it seemed like a great time.
I mean, they walked out with him. Why didn't they stay with him? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he was all good to go. He didn't need him anymore. But we have a format, of course. We have match of the night, worst match of the night, best non-wrestling happening, worst non-wrestling happening, hidden gems, best spot, worst spot, my dog spot, and some random thoughts. So, Nick, I will start with you. What was your match of the night from WCW Beach Blast from 1992?
Listen, I enjoyed this show more than I thought I would, and we talk about like the Bill Watts era or whatever, and some of the crazy rules that were put in place, but it still felt like a sports presentation, right? And there's a couple matches here that really feel like sports, like that. You're not watching a choreographed thing happening. You're watching pro wrestling done really, really well and looking really real. Not people setting up for different spots and stuff like that. And I mean, I enjoyed multiple matches. I do have an honorable mention for this one, but I mean, the one that takes the cake for me is the 30-minute Iron Man challenge between Rick Rude and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I was not surprised either. I went going over the match list before I even watched this. I was like, that probably will be match of the night. And I don't think anything was like terrible on this match, on this card, I should say. But yeah, this match with my favorite, I shouldn't say my favorite part, but it really set the tone when Rick Rude said this. Love his intro, but he called everyone beach-loving bozos. So if I'm a bozo for loving the beach, then call me a bozo, man. But having him say that was like the funniest thing. It's like, yeah, beach-loving bozos. Like, why is it a bad thing to love the beach? And I'm sure Rick Rude loved the beach himself, but I thought that was really, really funny. And just Ricky Steamboat, man, you can't go wrong with him ever in a match. And the ending really was what put it over the top for me. Rick Rude went up 3-1 after a small package pin, but Ricky Steamboat getting the first fall was Rick Rude being disqualified for coming off the ropes with a diving knee.
Oh, boy.
But it was one of those inflicting more damage on the opponent, taking one for, letting him get one just so you can get another. So even though you were up 2-0, you're still up 2 falls, but now you're up 3-1.
Yeah.
You're still up 2 falls. So I didn't like that. Kind of was like, okay, a little unnecessary, I guess, but it fit the mold of the match.
The deficit is the same.
Where the deficit's the same, but also you're still going more than half the match. Rick Rude was up 3-1, 10 minutes and 15 seconds into the match, so he still had a little less than 20 minutes to work with. So in that vein, I get it. Like, okay, we're back to where we started, but he's more damage was inflicted more for him, so I could probably get up 4-1, like whatever. And with JR and Jesse Ventura on the call, it's easy to kind of, explain the logic behind certain things in wrestling. And, but Rick Rude, not Rick Rude, Ricky Steamboat gets a tombstone pile driver on Rick Rude, pins him, then it goes 3-2, and then he pins him with a backslide with 20 and a half minutes into the match. So now it's tied 3-3. And 9.5 minutes later, we got 30 seconds left in the match, right? And Ricky Steamboat pins Rick Rude using the Bret Hart, Roddy Piper WrestleMania 8 ending. A little sloppy just because both guys are sweating their asses off. I feel like we see a lot more of that back then because I guess the arenas didn't have as advanced HVAC systems as they do now. So a lot of the older stuff, guys are like sweating 5 minutes into the match. We don't see
especially
that as
in
much
Mobile,
anymore.
Alabama.
True. We AC not working overtime there, but
no,
just that you have Rick Rude or Steamboat winning that fall to go up 4-3 with 30 seconds left, and my favorite part of the match, Rick Rude is frantic. He's trying to tie it up as soon as possible. So Steamboat gets the pin and then gets hit with a clothesline. Rick Rude goes for the pin, kicks out. Rick Rude gets a shoulder block, goes for the pin. Ricky Steamboat kicks out. Rick Rude hits him with another clothesline, goes for the pin. Ricky Steamboat kicks out. Rick Rude tries a small package. Ricky Steamboat kicks out. Rick Rude body slams him. Ricky Steamboat kicks out. Dude, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in like less than 30 seconds. Rick Rude frantically trying to tie this up. I just love that. It's funny because I hate the fact that apparently Rick Rude was U.S. champion going into here, and this match was not for the U.S. title. That, not a fan of. We'll get to that later. But him trying his hardest to come back and tie this up because it's like about being a man, I guess, it was one of those things that I just love, that was the most important thing to Rick Rude, to just tie this up, because they do be a draw, at the end. There's no sudden death in these things, as we were told. So,
yes, many times.
That was I don't know, that put it over the top for me. And they had a similar, not as similar thing at the end of the main event, which is my honorable mention as well. The Steiner Brothers versus Dr. Death and Terry Gordy. Ooh. Already had my match of the night picked out. I was like, there's really no way they could top that. But that was a really good tag team match, not surprisingly to me. But the ending kind of,
oh yeah,
you get the Steiners are really in control at the end. And it's like, man, if you, they're the champions, So you would think, even though Rick Rude's technically the champion, then that match wasn't for the title. The main event was for the title. So you would think you'd have Dr. Death and Terry Gordy try and, as the countdown was happening, not being completely obliterated by the Scott Steiner, but that's what happened. But I really enjoyed that match. That was my honorable mention.
Oh man, I do not have that as an honorable mention, but I do have notes on it because I did not love the finish, honestly. But my match of the night is not the 30-minute Iron Man match between Rick Rude and Ricky Steamboat, although I did enjoy that match a lot. And I agree with you in that the finish of that match was spectacular in that Rick Rude is frantically trying to and desperately trying to tie this thing up. And Jim Ross is on the call and he's freaking out and time just runs out on old Rick Rude there. So Ricky Steamboat comes away with the win. But my match of the night is the Falls Count Anywhere on the Coast.
Oh my goodness.
Anywhere along the Gulf Coast. Sting versus Cactus Jack. This was just a fun match for me. I don't know why. Sting walks in as the world champ, but the title is not in the line. It's just a good old-fashioned grudge match, which you would think means maybe Cactus Jack has a chance to win. Wrong. He does not. But first thing I noticed is that Cactus Jack's theme was fire. He came out to Frederick Chopin? Chopin? How do you spell it? Man, you would think I took some music classes in school or something, but I did not. But the song is Piano Sonata No. 2 in a B flat minor. It's a classic piece of music. that we've all heard. So if you Google it, you'll find it. You'll know exactly what it is. You've even heard a version of it in the Undertaker's theme song. So, some type of version of that song there. But yeah, this match was fire. I love this match. I don't know why. It's just silly. It was all kinds of stuff going on. Cactus Jack taking the wildest bumps you can think of.
It's crazy.
On the ramp that's elevated. We got the elevated ramp.
Mm-hmm.
He took a bump there, not even a minute in. He's taking bumps on the ramp. He's taking bumps all over the floor. And mind you, again, this is Bill Watts WCW, which means there are no mats on the floor. It is just concrete. And here's Cactus Jack doing sunset flips on the concrete, which means he's landing on his spine and on his backside, taking this bump, and taking suplexes on the floor. It took several bumps on the floor, actually. But eventually Sting did win by battering Cactus Jack with a chair, more bumps for Cactus Jack, and then hit him from a clothesline from the top rope on the elevated ramp for the win. Again, this was just fun. It was a lot of fun for me. Cactus Jack is fantastic, despite all the crazy bumps he would take. And Sting is Sting. I mean, come on, he's the franchise. It's a Stinger. This is Sting. Let's get it together. So that was my match of the night, with an honorable mention going to the 30-minute Iron Man match. But let's get into the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's get into the worst matches of the night, or worst match, I should say, not matches, worst match of the night.
I have matches
from Beach Blast, but I got a couple of candidates too. But I'll start with you. What was your worst match of the night?
Again, I didn't think it was terrible the way we've seen bad matches and the shows we've watched, but I got nothing out of Ron Simmons and the Tailor-Made Man, and I got nothing out of Greg Valentine and Marcus Bagwell. It's just,
oh man,
I get it, like veteran versus rookie with Valentine and Bagwell, but. And Ron Simmons was, very close to winning the world title. He wasn't very far away from that. But, and I like Terry Taylor, but just nothing there for me. And the fact that he's just like the tailor-made man, it's like, dude, like you can get more money being the Red Rooster, man. What are you doing?
Probably did.
Neither of those matches were like spectacular. Nothing stood out. Don't think they were bad, but the rest of the card I think was a lot better.
Yeah, I had the same two matches, honestly. The Valentine Bagwell match was weird because it was like you said, teacher versus, I guess, or vet versus rook, so to speak, and yeah, Greg Valentine working over Bagwell's leg, and then before you knew it, it was over. He buffed
exactly.
Bagwell.
Yep.
And I'm not sure either guy got over as a result of that match. I just don't think it helped either guy. And then Ron Simmons versus Tailor-Made Man. For one, Tailor-Made Man is a bad gimmick. He's out there in a tux. Come on, bro.
It's like $1 Million Man wore it better. What are you doing?
Right, exactly. The $1 Million Man, you got the Tailor-Made Man. It's like, you got Raisin Bran or Fruit Loops and Fruit Rings. Like, what do we got here? We got the off-brand knockoff $1 Million Man. He's a Tailor-Made Man. Let's get out of here with that nonsense. But also, we got Ron Simmons in his hair. We haven't talked enough about Ron Simmons and his slick back perm just for me in his hair. I don't know if you know what just for me is, but it's the perm relaxer that was in the hood heavy, like in heavy rotation back when I was a kid. And, it had a song, had a commercial and everything, just for me, like all that. Ron Simmons was using it. I'm convinced. Okay. Because his hair was slick back. It was wild to look at. It is the early 90s. And the perm stuff, I guess, was still around. I don't know. I thought people got rid of that like in the 60s. Like when people said, I want to wear, at least I say people, black people, I should say, as black people decided we're going to wear our hair in a natural state. But obviously we had the Jerry curl. We still got people wearing perms, I guess, to this day. So it's not like it's totally a thing. But Ron Simmons is still rocking it in 1992. He eventually got rid of it, fortunately, and started rocking the little mini fro, that we know and love him for these days. But the slick back, wavy, permed up hair on him looked insane. And his hairline was receding. It was bad. It was real bad. But he did win the match. And Jim Ross, the only time they did this after a match was they had Jim Ross interview a winner, and it was it was with Ron Simmons. So This is already like, oh, this is different. And you hear the promo, and he gives this inspirational promo about working hard. And if you work hard, no matter what you look like, you can make it too. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, youngster. Pretty much what the promo was. I'm pretty sure that promo was written exactly by Bill Watts. Okay, don't matter what you look like. But they're clearly prepping him to be the world champion, right? Like, it's clear at this time that he's on that path. It's just a matter of time, and eventually he would get there. But
what a difference 2 years makes, because the last show he was Capital Combat, and he was in a nasty tag team with Butch Reed, or they're the heels and cheating to win,
right.
Teddy Long and stuff. So
now he's trying to inspire kids.
It's like Fatu, make a difference. Make a difference.
Yeah, but better.
Yeah.
But better.
But for sure.
But better, honestly. Ron Simmons is much more accomplished in his life.
I'm sure that character was that Fatu character was ripped from the Ron Simmons one.
Maybe, but Ron Simmons actually was like a legend at Florida State. Had his number retired. They actually said on the broadcast that they had given him, the city of Tallahassee had given him the key to the city like not long before the show. Like, he was that guy. He was that guy. When Florida State is giving you, the city that Florida State resides in, Tallahassee, Florida, is giving you the key to the city. But, yep, that was Ron Simmons, future world heavyweight champion. Look at him go. I didn't have a best non-wrestling happening. I didn't really notice anything that stood out to me. I was like, ooh,
right,
that was good. I got a worse non-wrestling happening.
Yeah, I do as well.
But as far as best, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough for shows like this. I'll just put the entrance, because they, even with the production that seemed worse than the WWF at the time, if you put both on TVs side by side, you were like, I'll probably watch that over that, because the WWF stuff looks better produced, more light, that type of stuff. But they never really cared about entrances until, the late 90s. Even when the Attitude Era started, they didn't really have these grand entrances. I like that WCW had these, like, they made the show feel like the show with their entrance sets, the beach setup and stuff like that. I did enjoy that. So they did. It's not like they didn't try or anything like that.
Right.
And the product in the ring, I actually prefer more than, what we see today. But, that having that product in the ring with that entrance, so it did make it feel like its own unique event in a way.
You don't want to see guys jumping off the top rope? You done with that? You over that now?
No. That's actually one of my worst wrestling happening.
Oh, man. Oh, well, I have another worst non-wrestling happening. I have a worse spot.
Well, I have a few here.
Yeah, but all right. Well, let's go to the worst non-wrestling happening. Where are you starting with the worst non-wrestling happening?
So the whole Medusa, Missy Hyatt stuff. Of
course,
didn't like it, but I don't blame them. They're at that time they're shoehorned into stuff like that. So not because of them, it's because of Bill Watts, practically. Also because of Bill Watts, Sting, the world champion, not defending his title, like that's a non-title match.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Does not make sense, especially if he's going to win. Are we going to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl this year with the Super Bowl title not being on the line? It's just going to be an exhibition game. Like whatever. Rick Rude being the U.S. champion, going against Ricky Steamboat, he loses the match. So I understand, I guess, that not being for the title still doesn't make sense. Ricky Steamboat, you could give him the title and just have Rick Rude win it back the next month at the Great American Bash, as they kept hawking all night. But I just don't understand the non-title stuff of this nature. It just doesn't make sense to me. In addition to the top rope BS that we got as well.
It is BS.
Jesse Ventura insinuating Johnny B. Bad does not like women a few times on this show. Just
he did ask him flat out, do you like girls?
Yeah.
This is insane.
It is, and I'm just like, come on, like, is it 1992 and they were doing that stuff? It's just like,
well,
whatever.
Speaking of Johnny B. Bad, since when did he become black? He looked like a black man on this show. I'm sorry. I know he's supposed to be like a Little Richard kind of like.
Yeah.
knockoff, but he looked darker than I've ever seen him. Like, what?
And that was with a lot of makeup too. He was wearing a lot.
It's like he's doing Little Richard cosplay on this show. Including,
I mean, that's who he was, right? That's what the
darkening
character
his
was,
skin.
I thought, back
Yeah,
then.
but it looked egregious on this show.
Okay. I
Like
mean,
the way he talked, his mannerisms,
Yeah.
and his skin tone. It's like, what is going on? I would have thought he was biracial. Is he biracial? I don't know if he is or
I
not.
do not know.
But man, it was just like, stay out of the tanning bed for like a year and you'll look somewhat normal. But yes, he is hosting the bikini contest. Well, it's not really just a bikini contest. It's bathing suits
It's
and
like a first lady of
evening
WCW,
gown.
pretty much. It was like a first lady contest. They had
yes,
these different
first lady
things.
contest with only 2 ladies. All right, that's all they got. Okay, you got Medusa, who is a wrestler, but they don't have any opponents. So she goes against Missy Hyatt, not in a match, but first lady of WCW contest, because Missy Hyatt is not a wrestler. She is a valet / manager, whatever, mouthpiece, whatever you want to call her. She is not a wrestler. So that's what they got for the women on this show in 1992. Go out there and be pretty and get off that top rope. Don't you dare jump off that damn top rope. Okay. So yeah, this was bad. They had the finale of this where Medusa walks out and then, she's got her deal. And then Missy Hyatt says that somebody stole her bathing suit, stole her bikini. And instead of bowing out of the competition, she wraps multiple, Jesse Ventura scarves around her body, and that's her bathing suit now. And then the people were supposed to go vote on the phone, and they would announce a winner tomorrow. But before that, Medusa loses her bra in the room. Johnny B. Bad just took it off of her, apparently. After she's not happy that he's like supporting Missy Hyatt, she drags him into this like little tent. I guess it's supposedly be slapping him around, but in the midst of it, he walks out with her bra. And then Jesse Ventura's like, oh my God, I got to see this. And he runs in and says, no, Medusa's the first lady. I don't know who this is for. I don't feel like this is even for WCW's audience at the time. I feel like the audience was not really intentionally trying to screw younger, but it felt like it did. And to do this is just like, what are y'all doing? You still got this is not like a mature show. Like, it fit the attitude era to do stuff like this, but like not 1992 WCW. It felt weird.
And he's not even in the position to declare because fans got to vote. They got to call into 1-900-909-9900, and the results would be available Clash of the Champions Monday night. So what do we do? How could you officially declare Missy Hyatt the winner when the fans haven't had their voice heard?
This was haphazardly thrown together, okay? This is not something else well thought out, well planned, or well executed for that matter. Just there. But that was my worst non-wrestling happening. All right, let's switch over to our hidden gems. Nick, do you have any hidden gems from Beach Blast?
No, I don't actually. There wasn't there wasn't a match that I'm like, this is like really, really good. You got to go out of your way to see.
I got one.
The light heavyweight title match was good. The 6-man was good, but neither of them were stood out to me.
I'm going with the light heavyweight title match. Brian Pillman, Scotty Flamingo,
Raven.
I thought this was
Johnny Polo.
Johnny Polo / Raven, and just Brian Pillman. 2 guys going out there putting in work, and they rarely stopped. I thought it was a fun match for what it was, an opener. The finish came after Pillman tried to do a dive to Flamingo on the outside, but Scott Flamingo moved, sending Pillman crashing his face into the ramp. Again, this is like this elevated. Go ahead.
Should he not have been disqualified? Save his title? What are we doing?
Maybe he did it to the outside and doesn't count. I don't know. The rules are stupid. We're gonna talk more about it. But Flamingo capitalized by hitting the knee move from the middle rope or from the top rope? Because he definitely jumped.
Yeah, it was
from something.
I think it was middle.
Okay, so you can jump from the middle rope, but not the top rope. That's a stupid, arbitrary way to do that. But he does the move. He hits Pillman in the ribs with the knee, and that's enough to take him out. And Scotty Flamingo is your new light heavyweight champion. I also put in here the main event as well. The main event was cool. Don't get me wrong, it was a good match. And the main event, of course, is the Steiners defending their World Tag Team titles against Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams. The match itself was okay. I did notice that. Actually, I take that back. The match itself was actually really good, like you said earlier. But I didn't love the finish. But before we get to that, Randy Anderson, boy, was that man sweating through that shirt. He was drenched in sweat. It's like it was two different colors on his shirt. There was a lot of high angle.
Earns his paycheck.
He did. He really did. And it was like you said, it was hot in there. So, but a lot of high angle suplexes, a lot of big stiff clotheslines. It was a good match. But the finish is just I don't know, man. It's a time limit draw in the main event where the baby faces look like they're pretty much about to win. I guess that was the whole point. They're about to win and time runs out.
But they're the champions.
But they're the champs. So how do you get another match?
That's what, if the heels were the champions, then I love that finish more. Like, I'm okay with a draw. Like, a pay-per-view main event ending in a draw, probably not as unheard of back then. Like, today, obviously, they would never do that. And I still like time limit draws in wrestling. I mean, I
do too.
That's fine.
I do as well.
If it was in the middle of the card, sure. But yeah, like today it wouldn't fly. But the fact that they were the champions and they looked like they were going to win, that doesn't make sense in pro wrestling. And again, this is supposed to be more sports centric, so understandably, maybe we're supposed to be like, what the hell? But we know that unless there's a last-second small package or roll-up, but there was no one ever really in position. Dr. Death was never in position to do that. Neither was Terry Gordy. So it was, obviously knowing the result going into it, just like, I guess this is just weird how it ended. You think like maybe they would end it a little more, with a little more logic. But for me, it just completely missed that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that at all. But I was a fan of Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Gordy, who were teaming together in All Japan Pro Wrestling before returning to WCW in early 1992. We know a lot about, Terry Gordy, he's in the Fabulous Freebirds, but we haven't talked about Steve Williams a whole lot on this show because I don't think we've had too many shows that he was on that we did a deep dive on. But Steve Williams was an legit incredible athlete for his time. You won't find too many people with the collegiate accolades that Dr. Death had amassed. He played guard for Oklahoma University, or was it Oklahoma University or University of Oklahoma? Yeah. It's OU. Yep. So I would assume Oklahoma University.
I think it's both. I think you could just say both. Like
probably. I feel like I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, and I think Jim Ross always said University of Oklahoma, but
but he played for the Sooners. Okay, from 78 to 82, he was he's an all Big 8, now Big 12. I know that's the Big 12, but back then it was the Big 8. Yes, he was an all Big 8 guard in 1982. He helped the Sooners, again Oklahoma, win a pair of Big 8 titles and played in 5 bowl games, including 3 trips to the Orange Bowl. Mind you, this is back when bowl games were like the end all be all to the postseason. So it was a big deal to play in the Orange Bowl. But he was also a four-time All-American wrestler at Oklahoma. And he finished as the runner-up as like the second best wrestler in his weight class in 1981 across the nation. So he was nice, okay, at football and wrestling. He did give pro football a try via the United States Football League in 1981, but that didn't pan out. So he said, well, let's do wrestling. Let's do that wrestling. And off he went. And he was very successful. He had a very successful career in the world of pro wrestling before his untimely passing in 2009 at the age of 49. But yeah, Dr. Death, man, he was an incredible athlete. Again, 4-time All-American wrestler. which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I didn't love the finish to that match though, unfortunately. So
I did.
That's what I have for that.
I did think it was funny. This is in my random notes section, but before the match, Jim Ross predicts, surprisingly, shockingly, that Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy will win the World Tag Team titles. And I kind of laughed because I'm like, of course he would, because Dr. Death was his boy. So
yeah, it made that quite clear when he got to WWF that Jim Ross and Steve Williams were tight. All right. They even made fun of him when like WCW made fun of Jim Ross. Mm-hmm. They would even bring up Dr. Death as far as like his love of Dr. Death and as part of the parody.
Well, Dr. Death was in WCW when they did that whole Oklahoma thing with Ferrara. Yeah.
I do remember that. He was standing next to Jim Ross like he did back in WWF, which is like, why copy the angle? But whatever. What was your best spot from Beach Blast?
I like how they used the ramp, but the Sting clothesline to Cactus Jack on the ramp was
that was dope.
Probably a very cool visual. I always liked the elevated ramp look. So as much as I talk about the WCW production not being as like bright as the WWF one, I did like a lot of what they did in terms of making it different, like a different view when I would see it. So like the elevated ramp I saw quite a bit, and they really stopped using it. Like when Eric Bischoff was the executive producer, like they still used it here and there. So I liked it. Like I saw it enough times to, I guess in '95 is when, maybe late '94, maybe when Hulk Hogan got there, they stopped using it. But because he was like afraid, to trip. I don't know, but maybe they had it a couple times when he was there. I remember him coming through, doing like a run-in, I guess, right before the Bash at the Beach. I think he did a run-in at the Clash, and that's when they had the elevator ramp. So, but he didn't run in the ramp. He ran in on the side. So maybe he was afraid of it. Maybe that's why they stopped using it. I don't know. But always a cool visual, and then using it for moves and stuff. It doesn't matter where you're seated. You'd probably be able to see it pretty easily. So I thought that was cool.
That is true. That is a perk. Is that it is an elevated thing, so it helps the sight lines for people watching in the stands. But I did not have a best spot. I don't think there's really a whole lot of spots here that worked for me. I do have a worst spot though, and I can get to that in a second. But
I have
but yeah, no best spots
quite a bit
for me. But my worst spot is Arn Anderson teasing that he's going to jump from the top rope and being told to get down because he will be disqualified. How silly is that? And then later on in the match, in the 6-man tag, he climbs up again, thinking that Ole Anderson's the referee. Ole Anderson is the referee, quote unquote Arn Anderson's cousin, or brother, or is it brother? I think they were. I know Ric Flair is supposed to be a cousin of the Andersons, but I'm not sure what Ole and Arn's relationship was supposed to be in storyline. But Arn climbs up again and does a move, and Ole catches him and immediately disqualifies him. And it's like, what in the hell? That was a terrible way to end the match. That was horrible. I'm sorry. Bill Watts was wrong on this one. He got this one wrong.
For sure. Especially
in 1992, when we've already seen people go jump off the top rope already. It's not like nobody in the country was doing it. Plenty of people had been doing it already. Ricky Steamboat did it. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Flying Brian. Hello? And now we're going to remove
Brian.
that. He flies. I guess you got the middle rope, but the top rope was more spectacular. That's why you do it from the top rope. You inflict
more damage, to your opponent coming off the top.
So, yeah, I thought that was terrible. And it's just a rough way to end the match. Like, that's how they won. They won by a technicality of a rule that, like, no other promotion, at least that I knew of at that time, had. Like, WWF don't do this.
Like, no, I don't think they ever did either.
They let the Midnight Rockers jump off the top rope all the time. I don't get it. But did you have a worse spot, good sir?
A couple in this match specifically, because they're bad rules everywhere, man. Again, you mentioned Arn goes to the top but doesn't jump off because, first of all, Nikita Koloff is up, so he kind of sees him ready for him to come off the top rope, and then Ole is warning him to get down. And not only that, but then you have Jim Ross on commentary. He's probably annoyed that he has to say these things, try to make logic of it. So he says, sports writers have criticized the rule, but they don't understand it. So it's up to you, Jim Ross, to explain to us so we can understand it. But he never does. He never does explain it.
Because there's no explanation for it, honestly.
Exactly.
By 1992, there's no explanation for it.
And then we get a spot where Nikita Koloff clotheslines Arn Anderson over the top rope.
He did. The referee saw it. Didn't do anything.
He did. No DQ.
Saw it and was like,
no DQ.
Not my time to DQ yet.
This is where Jim Ross tries to explain that it's only a DQ if you throw or propel your opponent over the top rope. So Nikita's clothesline, apparently, it wasn't a throw, and hell, it wasn't a propelling of Arn Anderson over the top rope because the contact was made inside the ring, and the momentum took Arn over the top rope.
Oh.
And he likens it to interference in the NFL. This is what Jim Ross is, and oh man, like if I'm
a judgment call,
he's probably
now?
hating everything he's saying. So yeah, I said, I guess that clothesline was incidental contact, right? He didn't mean to send him over the top rope.
Incidental contact in wrestling.
But wait, there's more.
Spot foul.
Yeah, right.
Get the pinfall right then and there.
But wait, there's more. You said it. He comes off the top rope onto Barry Windham as he's covering Austin for a pin attempt, and Ole sees it and disqualifies him. A lot of bad spots in that match that are in my worst spot, because that is a quintessential match of why this doesn't work and why the audience will hate it. Just like this isn't wrestling, man. It's not wrestling when we have rules like this. So I love the talent that was in the match. I mean, you got the talent in the match to make it a good match. But just having those and knowing the talent, knowing that I can't do it, and then Arn trying to get away with it, but he gets caught and stuff. It's just like, that's a lame way to lose a match, really. Like, at least hit him with a belt or something, or get the ring bell, hit him with a weapon.
Actually cheat.
None of this. Cheat. Yeah, exactly. I guess technically
that's not cheating.
That's technically it is, but for wrestling purposes, no, we don't need that.
Not cheating when everybody else does a damn thing, and only Bill Watts believes should be outlawed.
Right.
Whatever. Let's make the guys who jump off the top rope the bad guys, right? Like, they're the cheaters. No. Yeah. I want to see people jump off the top rope. But random thoughts from Beach Blast 92. I don't have a ton here. I just noticed that Johnny Flamingo's aesthetic was unique. With the fedora and the ripped up jacket. I've noted that it looked like Brutus the Barber Beefcake ran him down. Ran down on him and got to clipping. Clipping up all his clothes. So there's that. And Cactus Jack at one point attacks Ricky Steamboat to start a program between those two guys. So
unfortunately,
that's all the random notes I had, honestly.
Unfortunately, when Ricky Steamboat's like, I beat you in the Iron Man Challenge, so I'm coming after that U.S. title. But now we have that, and Ricky Steamboat, I guess, will be forgotten in the U.S. title picture in the near future. So that was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Just like if I was ready for that, it's like, okay, Ricky won this, and now he's gonna have a chance at the U.S. title, and then I see that, I'm like, oh no, now I gotta wait longer. So yeah, that was funny. We saw Bill Alfonso as a referee, and I totally didn't realize he was in WCW before the WWF. I realized that a few years ago, but yeah, it's still funny seeing him in WCW before his time in the mid-90s WWF. I always forget that. I think it's funny where they showed the 900 number standings between Medusa and Missy Hyatt.
Standings with two people.
They had Medusa at 51%, who is like clearly a big heel, right? So no one's actually voting for her if this was legit, and Missy Hyatt at 49%. So I was like, oh, Missy Hyatt's got to mount a comeback to beat Medusa. But wait, there's still time left. Like, they're telling you to vote throughout the night and into the next night. So I don't know why they're doing this on the same night as well. Like it doesn't make sense with how they're doing it. But yeah, I said that JR predicting Dr. Deathful in the main event was funny. He literally said that after he hyped up the Steiner Brothers as owning everybody everywhere. Those were his words. They've owned everybody everywhere, and now, but he's just picking his boy to beat them. Like it makes me laugh, man. And JR's not like the heel here. He's the babyface / strict play-by-play guy. So he's going to put the baby faces over, and I think he's like, I'll put the Steiners over as strong as I can and still go for my boy Dr. Death.
Pretty much. He made sure.
Like, I gotta wonder if he just did that on his own, because I don't know if he's being told, don't talk good about Dr. Death or Terry Gordy. They're supposed to be the heels here, but he's pulling for his boy. So I wonder if he just kind of went on his own to do something like that. Jesse Ventura also saying Rick Steiner doesn't have a mind. JR say he has an education degree from Michigan, and he says, what, kindergarten?
He's like, oh yeah, right.
Jesse Ventura,
he got a degree.
Made me laugh a little bit. In that match, also Scott and Scott Steiner and Terry Gordy, I thought they were kind of like shooting a little bit in the beginning, but now I think it was part of a match because I stopped it. I rewound it a couple times, and because you had Rick Steiner come in, try to settle Scott down. You had Dr. Death come in, try to settle Gordy down. But it really didn't, the way they were wrestling, maybe it was just part of the match. But I remember thinking maybe there's a little bad blood there between those two. But as the match went on, it was just for show. Maybe it was time killing because they knew they were going for the time limit draw, stuff like that. I thought it was really cool and cool thing to see though in a match like that. I have a lot of notes for this match actually. Why it was my honorable mention. A lot of realism because Rick Steiner goes for an arm drag and Dr. Death doesn't go down with him, and then Rick goes for a hip toss and he blocks it, and it looks so real. And legit. So that's part of why I like this match and just this type of wrestling. I prefer that type of wrestling over what we get now, where it's just set up for your spot, have the crowd react, no rest holds, come back in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then on to the next spot. That's how wrestling is now. Whether, for better or worse, I still watch wrestling because I love it, but you ask me what in-ring style I prefer, it'll be this type of ring style. So, that's that.
All right, that's that. And that's that on Beach Blast 1992. Nick?
Still.
Take us out with some plugs, please.
Name. Still a great name.
No, it's not. Bash at the Beach is miles
If you wanted to go Bash at the Beach, then you switch the Great American Bash to the Great American Blast.
No.
Yes.
You can have more than one bash.
No, you can't have two bashes back to back. Sorry.
Oh man,
doesn't work.
Well, that's what they did. I guess that's why they're not in business anymore. Because they had too many bashes.
That's the number one reason, honestly.
Another bash? Oh my god!
In the summer too.
Here we go again.
Get out of here. Get out of here. But you can follow me on Twitter @_Pacone and on TikTok @_Pacone as well. I'm on Blue Sky @Pacone and on Threads @Pacone Nick. You can follow us @Shooters Radio on those platforms as well, on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Facebook.com/Shooters Radio, ShootersRadio.com, which will give you all the platforms where available, which include Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Music, and Pandora, along with many other platforms as well. You can check that out at ShootersRadio.com. And the rebirth of the Straight Shooters YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Where we were on for a while, doing our Google Hangout stuff. But I got rid of that years ago. Still have the episodes, but the YouTube channel just kind of became obsolete a little bit. But, I didn't think about I could make a video out of our audio and just post it on YouTube. So that's what I have started doing. So if you're on YouTube and you prefer like having a tab open and like no video, it's just the audio. But if you prefer listening to it that way, go to youtube.com/shootersradio. That is our YouTube channel. I've started adding some episodes there, our recent episodes, and along with rewind episodes, which I will go through some of the rewinds we have. Started this in June, so we are still in June, so I started adding some King of the Ring, our King of the Ring episodes, our deep dives. They start right when we start talking about the deep dive, so it's not the entire episode. I cut to where we just strictly go to the deep dive. So we have King of the Ring 96, 97, 98, 2000, and 2001 already up there on our YouTube. Well, actually 2000 and 2001 will be posted this weekend. But 96, 97, 98 are already up on our YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. I also added Kayfabe, a love story with Dave Reuter when we had him on. That is also up there as well. Also, the One Night Stand 05 and 06 episodes are also available there right now. The week coming up, we got June 23rd, Great American Bash 96 will be posted on there. June 24th, Great American Bash 97. June 25th, Great American Bash 98. And then June 26th will be Great American Bash 2000. All ready to go on our YouTube channel. So if you don't subscribe there yet, please go to youtube.com/shootersradio to subscribe and get ready for our this episode will be up there shortly, but also the rewind episodes that will be coming shortly.
All right, go check all of that out. Please go check out our YouTube and all those other platforms, including Patreon. I almost forgot the name of it. patreon.com/shootersradio, where you can put in a request for a future deep dive, just like the one we just did on Beach Blast 1992. And when you do, you get to make a cameo on the show that we're diving deep into. Again, patreon.com/shootersradio. Of course, I'm on all the platforms as well, at Vaughn M. Johnson on X, at Vaughn Johnson 166 on Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Threads. Go check me out. Of course, I'm going to be out here in these streets as well, per usual. So, again, patreon.com/shootersradio and all those other platforms that Nick and I mentioned. Go check us out on all of them. But until next time, for Nick Bacone, I am Vaughn Johnson. Thanks for listening to episode 467 of The Straight Shooters, and we'll catch y'all again next week.
Peace.
Hey, Clavis, wake up. The show's over. Oh, yeah. Kick it.